man. I got these cheeseburgers, man.
I don't want any cheeseburgers.
Please, man. I suck your...
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Daily Hotpot. I am your co-host, Drift, aka Roberto.
And I am Khan. Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are very hungry for lunch.
Hungry, folks. I know it's early in the morning. Hopefully you had a good breakfast. But hopefully, as Khan said, you have a good lunch planned. Because today, Khan, we are talking, or rather, possibly debating on the topic of hamburger versus hot dog.
All right. I love talking about meat in buns.
A man of culture, I see.
Yes. But first, I have a question for you. Hot dogs and hamburgers, are they sandwiches?
I would say yes, because we don't length shame bread and meats. Okay, so,
Okay.
you know,
all right.
because if you just extended the hot dog bun outward on each flap, it's essentially just two slices, you know, around a skinny dog, all right?
True.
But if you...
The size does not matter.
Size does not matter. And if you cut a hamburger into a column hot dog shape, is that no longer a sandwich? You know what I mean? We don't discriminate around here. Hot dog's a sandwich, folks.
Okay, so Drift, are you a hamburger guy or a hot dog guy?
I would like to say that, admittedly, I do not discriminate against either, and I'd happily take both. But, pitted against each other in the culinary king of the ring, I would say I'm a hamburger guy, a big hamburger guy. How about yourself, Con?
And for myself, I think it's because I'm from the East Coast. I am probably, and I think actually, I'm a hot dog guy.
Interesting. Well, why do you associate East Coasting with hot dogs specifically?
It's probably the standard or the stereotype of Nathan's being on this side. You know, like, I don't know, like a decade ago or 15 years ago, the Nathan's eating contest was apparently like a big thing.
So the eating contest, I want you to explain that to those of the people. But though Americans know well, I think we have some international audiences. What is the Nathan's eating contest?
Well, it's exactly as it sounds. Nathan is a company that specializes in hot dogs. Kind of like if you think McDonald's, but for hot dogs. And once a year, they have a contest where they see who can eat the most hot dogs in under a minute. And what do you think a average winner of the contest? How many hot dogs do you think they can eat?
The average winner. Well, admittedly, I'm no complete hot dog historian, but I am aware of the GOAT himself, Joey Chestnut. I think would frequently win these competitions, so I think his number is crazy flippin' high. So I would say, oh God, I would say he eats 95 dogs. I know that sounds crazy, but sure, 95 dogs for the winner.
Right? It's around like 50, 60 plus hot dogs.
Oh my God.
And I can't even, how does that even happen? Like from, even as like a hot dog, enjoyer, I could probably maybe do 3 hot dogs in like a barbecue. And that's probably the max that I could do.
3 dogs. Admittedly, I am a bit of a wider individual than Yukon, but depending on dog size, if it's an average dog size, I think I could like comfortably down like 4 to 5. And then you start to push it a little bit. But if I'm really hungry, if like gun to your head, Con, you had to endure the glizzy gauntlet, how well do you think you would do? You had to push your body to the limit. How many could you take down before you throw up?
I don't know. Let's say with the buns.
Yes, with bun.
Honestly, I could probably do like 5 or 6 max. And that's like me probably hating my life afterwards.
I think if you really forced me, I think I could do like... Oh, man. I don't want to make this a future episode on YouTube where I have to test this theory, but I'm just going to say, I think I could definitely take down north of 10 dogs.
10 hot dogs?
I think so. Good size hot dogs. You're not talking about little like dinky little wieners. We're talking like proper dogs.
All right. That's a very impressive number. For hamburgers, for me, hamburgers, probably less for some reason. And usually when we eat hamburgers, we think like, like the spring picnic, throw it on the barbecue. And for some reason, when I envision hamburgers, they're always like those barbecue dried, well done hamburgers.
Oh, and like the all gray?
I know. Yeah. And for those, I could probably do maybe like 2 max. That's it for me.
Wait, 2 max? Like on a sitting?
Yeah.
On a
you
casual
know.
sitting, you mean though? Like casual.
On
Like
a,
you're not trying
a
to push it.
casual, like you're at a barbecue.
Okay, yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah.
definitely-
Okay.
Yeah, so the combined 2 hamburgers and 4 hot dogs would be my general, outing for a barbecue.
That's
And that's
fair.
a lot, in my opinion. Yeah.
No, that's fair. I think 2 is a nice casual if I'm not trying to pig out, but if you're telling me I'm going to the barbecue to like throw down with the best of them, I could kill like 4. I'd kill 4 for sure.
Okay.
Definitely though, I don't know how fun of a time I'll be having if it's those, if we got someone who's on the grill and they not really paying attention and they're making all the meats gray, then I don't know if I'll have a great time doing it. Especially if you're not toasting your buns, ladies and gentlemen. Please toast your buns.
I know. Yo, low key, that person probably me. I'll just be chit chatting. It's like, oh no, I forgot about the hamburgers. No, I'll run back. I'm like, you just open up the barbecue and the smoke comes out and you're like, fuck.
You're a neglectful pitmaster.
I know. My bad, boys.
Oh man. Well, for UConn in this great debate, what is it, besides just being an East Coaster and maybe having some natural bias, what is it about the great American hot dog that you just prefer compared to the hamburger?
Honestly, I think it's more nostalgic for me. For some reason, like in my childhood, if you combine hot dogs versus hamburgers I've eaten, probably hot dogs would reign supreme. And that's in between, barbecues, in between Costco and a Costco every weekend and getting their like $1.50 hot dogs. Or after school, I will always stop by like the 7-Eleven to pick up cigarettes and hot dogs, right? Yeah, because I remember like when I did sports, I made it like a routine every time I finished like the afternoon session to just pick up like 7-Eleven had these like 2 hot dogs for $2 deals, and I would always like have a special hot dog where it was chili and cheese, and the other hot dog was like onions with salsa on top. So I like a little variety, and so to me, I think hot dogs are way more versatile than hamburgers in terms of toppings, and I think the toppings are the key to what makes a good hot dog.
You know what? That is a very good point. I think the finite beginning and end of hamburgers is a bit of a lacking feature, if you will, because you gotta have a bottom bun, you gotta have a top bun. There's only so much girth of a hamburger that can have it before you got to unhinge your damn jaw to get a good bite of it. But, hot dogs, open top, convertible. You could load as much as you want right on top. I can respect that. I can respect it for sure. And, you mentioned it, you said, talking about like baseball, right? It's the synonymousness of hot dogs with baseball as a sport. I definitely can't say that hamburgers have the same synonymous aspect to an activity. I mean, you could do picnics, barbecues, whatever, but like a sporting American activity, like hamburger doesn't have the mainstay in like a basketball or football. Even for those, you might still think hot dogs. Hot dogs are the American sport food, if you will.
The thing with hamburgers, in my opinion, is the more crazy or the more toppings you put on a hamburger, the diminishing the value of the hamburger actually tastes. Versus on the reverse side, you could definitely experiment with hot dogs and it'll still be pretty good at the end of the day.
I agree with that, but I think for me, as the hamburger supporter here, I think hamburger's minimalistic style in terms of maximizing the taste for the less ingredients and less kind of ingenuity that a hot dog can bring to the table offers a better flavor profile. I think, yes, there's less open top blank canvas variety compared to a hot dog and its open ceiling value. But for a burger, I feel like if you have a good old, nice, amazing, like a favorite classic burger of mine is a Swiss mushroom burger. Something very simple, or if you just want to do a classic cheeseburger, all right? Now, that in its just basic flavor profile in itself, to me, can beat out a hot dog on its lower playing field. I think I would agree there is a higher ceiling to a hot dog, but on average, on the lower end of the fields in terms of ingredients, I think a burger will beat out a hot dog 9 times out of 10.
Okay. Well, let's put this into categories, right? If you were to judge between the two. So let's go with taste, meat taste, bun taste. Then we have ease of making, right? And then we have toppings. So why don't that be our categories?
Sure.
So I'll start. So let's talk about ease of eating or ease of making. What meal can you prepare in under 30 seconds or under a minute? Hot dogs, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Like after school, the lazy person, the lazy boy in me. Sometimes I'll just throw in a fucking hot dog in the microwave. Bam. It's pre-cooked, right? It's ready to go in less than a minute. You slap on some ketchup, some mustard, and bam, you got yourself a little snack. I bet you can't do that with hot dogs. I'm sorry. I bet you can't do that with hamburgers.
You definitely can't. I admit that the ease of making is a little harder. That the barrier for entry is a little higher compared to the good old classic American hot dog. Admittedly, as a Filipino boy, I do frequent the dog and its pre-cooked nature during my youth.
That's right. As a Filipino man, hot dogs should have been a preferred pick for you, in my opinion. Think about the amount of dishes are in hot dogs.
That is true. But here's the thing that I kind of crossed the line at. Americans and Filipinos especially love hot dogs. Boy, do we love hot dogs. And like I said, in a perfect world, I don't have to pick and choose either of these. Fuck it. I can get both. But I think especially, as some of you may know, hopefully by now, like as Khan said, he's on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. And while he has that nostalgia for the good old Nathan's, good old American dog, I have nostalgia for the good old fashioned Californian burger. And minor history lesson, I think for the West Coast, whether you're a fan of it or not, we have, the history of In-N-Out being in California, being established in 1948. Also, In-N-Out, the first ever American burger drive-thru, the inventors of the American burger drive-thru, In-N-Out in 1948. And I think California is definitely burger country. And I developed a burger taste and profile for it. Yes, can you not make a hamburger as easy as you can make a hot dog? Very true. And I think it's a weird imbalance an imbalance of an uneven playing field because the hot dogs come ready. But if you think about it, if you had to make both from scratch, a hamburger is easier to make than a hot dog. Are you going to bust out some pig intestines and encase your meats? I don't think so. Okay. So
yeah. The real question is has anyone even made a hot dog before?
Genuinely made a hot dog before. No, I don't think so. If we're talking about that playing field, a hamburger wins. But if we're just talking straight out the package, are there pre-cooked meats and hamburgers? There are. It's a little less safe than a good old hot dog encased in the intestine casing. But
yeah,
look, I'll give it to you. The making is easier. But you know what? Yeah. Well, sorry. What was your rate? Are we giving it a number scale or are we just going this or that for your rating?
I think we'll do this or that.
Okay.
And I think for ease, hot dogs.
Fair enough. Out of the package, I'll give it to the hot dogs. On to the next con.
On to the next one. Let's talk about the meat. For me, unfortunately, I do think as far as meat quality and meat taste, probably for the hamburgers. However, if we were to step outside of your generic hot dogs are meat in a tube. We have sausages, right? Pretty good. We have different types of meat. I've recently had duck hot dog, pretty good. Bison hot dog, pretty good. And I mean, obviously I know hamburgers have those too, but I think as a form of meat, the different types of meat you can put in a tube has a lot of great value in what makes a hot dog great.
Interesting. You know what? I can get behind your points there, but let me retort by saying that one, I wouldn't count sausages because that is a different classification. Let's say you do include sausages. Okay, I'll give you that variety of putting them into those intestinal packs. I love sausages. I actually like sausages more than hot dogs. But for patties, we need to talk about their versatility too. Because what are patties? They are just ground or shredded meats of different assortments into different patties, into this round, flat, cylindrical shape. Perfect. Have you ever had a good old fish fillet or perhaps even a chicken patty? Breasts are very patty formed. All right.
A fish fillet though is not grounded fish though. It's a fish fillet.
The fillet.
So no, I don't think a fish fillet sandwich counts as a hamburger. No. I disagree with you.
If that is the same case, I particularly don't think that a sausage counts as a hot dog. Though the clarification between
meat in tubes, right? Meat in tubes.
Well, the distinction, if we want, let's look it up. The distinction of why hot dogs and sausages are different. Because I think it has everything to do with filling or a specific process.
Okay. Fine. I take it back. Sausages should not be included in our little discussion about hot dogs.
Is that your stance? We can look it up right now. It's fine. It's okay. You can take your point.
It's fine. I'll take it back, guys.
Don't give me pity points, Con. That's not what we're here for. But
Okay,
then,
what else you got? What else you got?
I would say 100% that the meat quality for hamburgers, just in general, is much better than a sausage / hot dog. I'll include it, Con. All right. I'm not going to let you give pity
Okay.
points. Also, particularly with the ability to have a preference of cook on patties, you can do it medium rare. You can do it. I mean, if you're into that, rare. Oh, you know, you can have a tartare if you want. If you wish to have a tartare sandwich, that's perfectly fine.
Dude, I love beef tartare as like an unrelated thing.
It's actually kind of fire. I've never had it in
It's
a
so
burger,
fire.
but
It's so not a burger, but just like beef tartare in general with like some chips. Oh my god, so good.
there you go. I think people have had tartare like burger stuff before. I've never had it. I have seen it on like
That sounds
YouTube and
gross.
stuff. It sounds
sounds
gross in
gross.
my head. I don't know how good that actually is. I've never tasted it, so I can't.
It's like, I mean, I can imagine it's like tasting like uncooked Joe sandwiches, like beef Joe sandwiches. You know what I'm talking about?
I can texturally, as a texture guy, it probably doesn't sound that great. But anyways, yeah.
Mhm.
You can do medium rare. You can do well done, which is the very gray thing. I mean, look, there's ways to make that juicy. Not a fan. I'm a medium rare guy. I feel like that's a perfect cook for a burger. But that flexibility is there. I think for a well-seasoned, good patty, you can get there. For your average hot dog, I gotta say, you know, they generally taste the same. But for burgers, you can really play with the fat content in the different meat mixes and the meat location mixes of shoulder or little cow ass or whatever you want.
Alright.
A lot of flexibility in the good old patty, I think, and the flavor profile out of this world.
Which is actually kind of funny. Like, as you're talking about the different ways you can prepare hamburgers, I was thinking about the different ways you can prepare hot dogs. We have like boiled hot dogs. We have steamed hot dog, not steamed hot dogs, but like grilled. So yeah, okay, fine. Preparing the hot dogs, not too many good ways you can prepare hot dogs.
Is that perhaps a point for the burgers? I'll take it.
I believe so. In terms of meat, I think hamburgers probably got it down.
Alrighty, Con. Well, I'll take that. It's a 1-1 game, Con. What else do we got, brother?
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about toppings. Well, I think we both know there are so many different kinds of hamburgers and hot dog toppings.
Oh yeah.
And everyone and their mom has probably tried different types of toppings. But for me and you, what is your favorite hamburger topping?
Oh man. Okay, so distinction. We're not including cheese as a topping. Is that a separate category? No. Okay. I just want to be clear.
Cheese is out. Cheese is out. It could be like included in a type of hamburger if you wish.
Okay. I just want to make, and also, are we including condiments? Because to me personally, I think condiments and toppings are two different things.
Yeah,
two different things.
I include condiments.
You include them
as toppings. Yes.
Okay. Well, if you include that, honestly, I'm gonna say I honestly really love mushrooms on burgers. I don't care what anyone says. I think mushrooms give a nice hearty texture and flavor. And I already said I love a good Swiss mushroom burger. As for like condiments, even though we're including that, the reason why I didn't say a ketchup, a mustard, or a mayo, whatever you want to put. Growing up, I actually wasn't a big fan of condiments. I mean, part of that was also being a kid and being picky. But even in my adulthood, if it's there, that's fine. I don't ask for it though. I don't go there, spraying a bunch of ketchup, mustard on my burger. I like a good classic burger, feeling the meat juices, the cheese, mushrooms, jalapenos, whatever toppings go on whatever burger I ordered. But if it's there, I'm not going to complain if it's included. Yeah. But I don't actively seek out, putting those condiments on. How about you, Con? What's your preferred hamburger topping?
Hamburger topping. Usually though, and I don't know how people feel about it, but I do like blue cheese on hamburgers.
Controversial topping for many, I think.
I know. Like, I wouldn't say it's like, I can't think of a top, but for some reason, the first thing I thought of was blue cheese on hamburgers. I do like smelly cheese for some reason, and so that might be like a little biased towards there. But yeah, blue cheese. Pretty good on hamburgers, in my opinion.
I admit, I think it's an overhated topping. I think it has its place. I'm actually a fan of blue cheese, but I think a lot of burger purists are not fans of the highbrow blue cheese addition to the hamburger formula. But despite that, I think those are pretty great toppings. Con, what about hot dogs? Because I think since there's so different platforms of sandwich, I feel like the condiments and toppings discussion is much different for a hot dog. So how about for that one?
Yeah. I like grilled peppers and like yellow peppers or bell peppers or red peppers on top of, I guess, a hot dog. But in most cases, it's usually like on a sausage. And I think if I were to pick, like if someone were like, okay, you get to choose one type of hot dog topping, peppers would probably be pretty up there for me.
That's a really good choice. I think for me, my childhood classic that I still love to this day, I know it's technically two, but I'm just going to say it because normally they're just listed as one. Chili cheese. Come on, man. Chili cheese on a hot dog.
Chili cheese. Yeah.
Oh, that goes crazy.
Yeah. That brings me back to the nostalgic thing. I used to get that disgusting chili cheese hot dog from 7-Eleven all the time. You know, the thing that just comes out of like the little machine.
Yeah,
you press
yeah.
the button and like it just oozes and farts out fucking chili.
Do they still have that? I don't know. Do they?
I had it recently, actually. I was just low key, like, I was buying cigarettes and I was like, the guy was taking a while. So I was walking around and the hot dog machine was there. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me get one. Oh my God. Yeah. And then I'll just slap on some like onions. I don't know. I'm into it. It's not good by any means.
It's not like, yeah, definitely not good. Not good for you. But as a kid, I admit I did eat those up too. But I also did like the nachos at 7-Eleven. Like you had the pack of nachos.
It's like the same condiment.
The same condiment, the same
section.
machine. Yeah. It's, dude, that holy moly. Yeah, 7-Eleven. Look, where I live, there's a 7-Eleven literally down the road. Like I could walk there and it was not good. It was not good when I was a kid.
I agree. Not good, but for some reason, if you're like craving it, it hits. If you're craving it.
It hits, yeah. Only if you're craving though. 100%. Well, Con, yeah, as for condiments and toppings for hot dogs and burgers. I think as a whole discussion on that topic, we already discussed the openness of the hot dog and, you know, the unlimited possibilities that boat shape of that bun offers. I'm wondering, again, I want to play devil's advocate here. I'm already fighting for hot dogs, but I want to play devil's advocate. Do you feel like the unlimited nature of dogs and its open boat formula produces a dilution of really good combos and creation of more disgusting combinations than it does good ones?
Speaking of disgusting combination, Kayleen and I, on one of our little dinner dates, we went to a restaurant that specializes exclusively in hot dogs.
Oh no.
I forget. Yes. It was near me. I forget the name of it, but what they do is each of their hot dog dishes or each of the hot dogs are based on a city around the world. And they had one for San Francisco.
Oh no.
And they did the stereotype thing where it's for like Chinese food, right?
Oh.
And oh my God, dude, it was so disgusting. So what they did was they took like the Chinese hoisin sauce, like the stuff you just put on like either like duck or meat. And they just slapped it on there. And I gotta say, Chinese flavor with hot dogs does not go 2 and 2 together.
That's not a combo
whatsoever. That is not a combo. On the reverse side, they had a Mexican one.
Ooh.
Where it was like street corn with some lemon on it and cilantro. That one was actually really good. It kind of tasted like a taco hot dog, to be honest.
Dang, that does sound really good. And I think again that's a credit to hot dogs' versatility. I just think sometimes you can have too much creativity, and the beauty of creativity is being creative within the limitations rather than having a blank check. And
yes,
sometimes you just get dogs and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with that thing? Who created that? Versus
I remember now. The San Francisco one was they slapped on a couple General Tso's chicken pieces, and
it sounds kind of gross.
Without the sauce. They didn't put on the sauce. They used a hoisin sauce, which is like a salty, slightly sweet, savory taste. I don't know. It was just bad. I can't even describe it. If you ever see a San Francisco hot dog anywhere in the menu, do not get it. A Mexican one, do get.
This was a place in Jersey?
Yeah. I forget what it's called. Exclusively just hot dogs.
I respect the hustle. I just feel like you could have gone in much better directions with that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with whatever choice you make in this decision of toppings or whatever, but I just think I have seen way less disturbing ass creations of burgers than I've seen disturbing creations of hot dogs.
I would agree with that, to be honest. Like you said, I think people just had too much freedom, and the fact that they think, you know what, it's a hot dog, it's a convertible, let's just see what goes on top, right? We just throw everything on there to see what works. And a lot of times it just doesn't work.
Yeah, just too much of a good thing. Too much. Well, Con, I think the buns with the good old hamburger with it take the cake on this category. What do you think?
Yeah, I suppose I can agree with that.
Reluctantly.
Uh-huh.
All right. What is our do we have a last category? I think there was one more after that, right?
Was there? Not sure. Do you have another category you would like to talk about?
Oh, I you know what? I do have one, and I think this one's unfair. And I'm not choosing this because it's leaning towards hamburgers, but because I think it's a real category. And I think is the marketability and franchisement of said item. And I will say hamburger, if we look at comparatively, who has had more success selling as a product, hamburgers or hot dogs? I mean, we're looking at comparing how many hamburger establishments do you see? How many restaurants in general offer premium hamburgers versus a hot dog? And I think hamburgers have done a much better job of breaking into an open market. Now, don't get me wrong. Hot dogs are very much the people's choice in terms of like the working man's food. Like if you talk about grassroots, like man, if you think of good old fashioned America serving a dog at a baseball game, there you go. That's a goddamn hot dog right there. But burgers have broken past the bourgeois and have become iconic across the world over. I think more people around the world know a burger than they do a hot dog.
Yeah, but I think just to be fair to hot dogs, with hamburgers, the quality of the meat kind of a lot of time determines the price and also marketability of the actual hamburger itself. Like you can't go to like a restaurant and be like, yeah, I want to pay $20 for this premium hot dog. Like who? Nah. People would pay probably $30-$25 for like a nice hamburger. So I think as far as marketability to like either it being dressed up or dressed down, yeah, I'll give it to hamburgers. Definitely more marketable.
That's fair. That's fair at that price. I just want to say, I mean, but look at franchises. Compare hot dog franchises to hamburger franchises. No one really knows the hot dog franchises. To be fair, that might be East and West Coast.
I only know
thing.
Nathan's. Yeah, but I only know Nathan's as like the hot dog place.
Gotcha. Name me a few hamburger franchises while you're at it.
I know. All right.
All right. Well, folks. Yeah.
Oh, I do want to add though.
Yeah.
Recently, and not recently, but like a few years now, I've been really liking Korean hot dogs, Korean corn dogs.
Corn dogs.
Like, I don't know if you guys would consider corn dogs as part of the hot dog category, but man, Korean corn dogs are so good. And the toppings, once again, toppings are the key point in hot dog. The type of different toppings you can get with the Korean corn dogs, really out there, but most of the time they're pretty good.
You know, I personally wouldn't put it into the hot dog category, but I definitely think they deserve a shout out in their own little subcategory of the dog family. 100%.
Yes. Agreed.
All right, Khan. Well, with the great debate of hot dog versus hamburger, if we look at the tallies, technically hamburger won, but I really don't care because guess what? It's beautiful that in America, we can go down the street and go get either a hot dog or a hamburger and nobody's mad.
Yes, but however, for the sake of this discussion and debate, we'll just say hamburgers are the winner.
Yes, I wear that proudly. I was trying to be civil, but yes, hamburgers are better than hot dogs. All right. Well, thank you so much to our hamburger supporters. I'd like to credit this award to all of you hamburger helpers out there. Pun intended. Yeah, and it was a great race. Shout out to our hot doggers out there. Try again next year. Khan, do you want to leave anything else left for the people?
Well, next time, you guys can look forward to our discussion on banh mi's versus tacos.
Ooh, okay, all right. Yep, there you go, folks. That's the next big, great debate. And, well, I don't know. That's a great, I don't know. Just thinking about that now, like hitting my ears. That's a hard one. I like tried to pick a side for a second, and I didn't know.
That's a tough one for me personally, as a Vietnamese guy.
Yeah, that kind of like completely ruined my system. I like system shut down for a second because I went half a second, thought like, oh, well, I would choose, and I was like, wait, I don't know what I would choose. We got to settle on that for a moment, folks. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Daily Hotpot. And as always, take it easy.
Bye.